Hey, Cringe here, and I want to talk about some of the events through the year, gaming events that I think deserve a little bit more attention. I know that PAX is there, I know that everyone loves PAX. There's a little bit of controversy this year as far as what's going to be at PAX, but the event I'm expecting to be as good as it always is. But there are some events around the year that I've been to over the last 2 years and I've really enjoyed. One of them you actually saw a little bit of when I was doing that Brisbane thing with Adrian for a hot second. That was Game On in Brisbane. It was at the Powerhouse and it was a bunch of local talent coming down, and it had this really laid back vibe. I mean, to begin with, the fact that it's right next to the New Farm Markets in Brisbane is phenomenal, but then also when you walk into the Powerhouse, the indie devs are always there and they always seem really upbeat and really keen to speak with people that are just curious as to what's going on. Like, not many gaming events happen in Brisbane. Game On's really unique in that sense, and the fact that it's right next to the New Farm Markets means that people who have no idea what's going on as far as Brisbane's development scene, they just walk in, they're like, oh, this is all made here, that's awesome. Madman Festival I enjoyed more than I thought I would. I'm not typically super into the anime scene. I'm not as much of a weeb as people might think I am because I'm part of New Game Plus and I just typically play a lot of Japanese music. I get called out on that on Zed Games actually. Anime Fest was nice because there was a good sort of mid-ground between a huge focus on gaming and huge focus on anime. The middle ground obviously was a lot of weeb games, and so there was stuff from Bandai Namco and stuff from Square Enix there, and there were a few just the merch, just the booths that just sell cute shit. I love that. I love that so much. RTX was one that I went into not expecting a whole lot from, and then I enjoyed way more than I did. I feel like it was the same commercial energy as PAX has as far as stuff like vendors and stalls and all the rest of it, but on a much smaller scale. And I think that's what I really loved about RTX. There were vendors there that were I think HP Omen, and then Razer and a few other hardware manufacturers, and then there were smaller booths that had artsy, crafty shit, and then there were some retro gaming booths there as well, and I just hit up those demo discs as hard as I can every time I see them. And then of course the big focus obviously on Rooster Teeth stuff. The last one that I want to talk about, and the one that I think deserves way more attention than it gets, even though I don't want it to get that much more attention than it gets, is AvCon. So AvCon is based in Adelaide. It runs every July. It's been running for the last 16 years. AvCon is obviously the anime and video game convention. It's interesting because AvCon is basically, if you could split it down the middle, you could basically see PAX Light, Supernova Light, which doesn't really do it justice truthfully, but that's kind of the way the best way to kind of describe it. One side you have a lot of the merch booths, you have a lot of the kind of stuff you would expect to see at a Supernova or a Comic-Con. They're usually a little bit more grassroots truthfully than Supernova or Comic-Con, just because it doesn't cost as much, I think, compared to a Nova or Comic-Con, but there's that side of stuff, and then you've got Artists Alley that sort of wraps around the Adelaide Convention Centre. And then when you go a little bit further into the hall, you have stuff like the Indie Games Room, where I think there's typically about 2 or 3 dozen indie games there. There is the Australian Speedrun Marathon, which I absolutely love. There's that, and then last year there was Nintendo there as well, which was really cool. They had a bunch of Switch games, which was neat. And then a few other stuff as well, there's a PC gaming and a free play retro gaming area as well. I love AvCon, man. I love it so much. I'm keen as heck to go back. If you're excited to go to events this year that might not be PAX, I mean, everyone goes to PAX, I feel. Everyone who can actually get time off work and who can afford to get to Melbourne if they don't live in Melbourne goes to PAX. But yeah, let me know in the comment section what you are planning to go to, or what you've gone to before and you think it would be fun to check out. If you want to see more stuff from me, be sure to subscribe to the channel, youtube.com/cringeworthy, and I got sucked into the Twitch hole again. So feel free to follow me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/cringeworthy. I'll be playing, the usual variety of games. I was playing PS2 games the other day, and I'll be playing some remastered games that have recently released. So yeah, twitch.tv/cringeworthy, and if you want to see more of me, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram as @cringeworthy. But for now, that's all from me. Thanks for watching. I usually put my phone in my back pocket because I'm usually wearing pants when I record these videos. That's not the case tonight. Also, I'm not sure how I feel about my hair always doing this thing where I'll typically be at home, have a shower, then shoot a video late at night when I realize that I've already scrolled through Facebook and YouTube and everything at least 4 times. And for the same things, by the way. And it looks like this. I'm just very, very excited about having a haircut later on.